Hell is Us is a new soulslike game focused on environmental storytelling, exploration without a map, solving mysteries, and uncovering the plot. But it also depicts some harsher topics, like, for example, showcasing the horrors of war. If this is not for you, this is your warning. Otherwise, hello, friends and strangers, I am Neptune, and I welcome you to Hell is Us. Let's go. Oh yeah, right. In the demo I choose balanced because most of the time I think just like the mediocre, the middle difficulty is the best to start. But it felt a little on the easy side for some parts, so I'm like, let's just hope that I don't regret this. Yes, tutorials please. Our game has no map, no markers indicating where people or things are, where to go next, or who to talk to. We will never tell you precisely what must be done or how to do it. To thrive in Hell is Us, you will need to pay attention to your environment, listen, and be vigilant. Which is literally one of the things as to why I'm excited for this. Hopefully they actually, really sell this aspect as being a core important feature to figure things out for yourself.
It's a true serum. It's still experimental, hence the polygraph. I would have tortured you, but my employers insist I use their concoction. Now, let's begin. How did you get into Hadia?
The yellow brick road.
Well, apparently, needs more time. While it's going through your system, curious about something. Why did you do it?
Anyone in my shoes would have done the same.
I think you overestimate human beings. I don't think you realize the time, money, and resources that went into this operation. You pissed off the wrong people. But I'm getting ahead of myself. You were smuggled out of Hadia at age 5, grew up in the foster care system, and dabbled in criminal activities. You managed to pull yourself together and become a decorated soldier. After decades of trying to get back into Hadia, well, you decided to take matters into your own hands. It seems we are ready. How did you get into Hadia?
I asked for a transfer to the UN peacekeepers, who had deployed inside Hadia. It backfired. When the paperwork cleared, Hadia's civil war was in full swing and the peacekeepers pulled out. I reported to my new unit, stole some gear, and crossed the mountains.
Why come back?
Fuck. My parents. I wanted to find them. I needed to confront them.
How did you know your parents were still in Hadia?
I didn't. My only memory was that my father was the blacksmith of a village of Jova.
Getting into Hadia is just as hard as leaving. Tell me, who smuggled you out? What happened?
She sat me down in the back of a truck, gave me her necklace, and shut the door.
She didn't say anything?
She told me. She told me. Never come back.
And there we are, on the journey that led us to being interrogated, probably, as that weird grey man with the blubber chin said, pissing off the wrong people. And I just gotta say, just in the demo already, this was just... like, this game is atmospheric. It definitely has a lot of these just like very big open areas. A lot of things to look around for that could potentially lead you to some clues. A large gold cast medallion with 8 figures and a sphere embossed into the one side. Classified entry access denied. But just like this, I'm super excited to figure out everything in this. This feels like it's like a mystery kind of game. And stuff we can't read. Which also will be very interesting. Because I just remember in the demo we get a drone to actually read some of these, and I did not come back here to read that one. Maybe I will remember this time. Potentially not. But yeah, we're, as far as I'm aware so far, a not named man serving in the army, but now we abandoned our uniform to doing something that we're not supposed to, and hoping to find our mother and father. And as we already see, times are not the greatest here. Yay. But seriously, it's just like, look at that. I'm not necessarily someone who's like much for graphics or anything, but like atmosphere-wise, this is amazing. And also weird save points that, I mean, at least they're obvious. They're incredibly obvious, which is glorious. Conversations can be started with many characters you encounter. Conversation topics can be chosen based on datum, which represent a specific piece of information you have previously encountered. Conversing with characters may reveal additional datum, which can open up new topics of conversation. Topics that are relevant for your main objectives are listed on the left side of the screen. Listed on the right side are optional topics which reveal more about the situation, culture, or history of Hadia. Which is another thing where it's like, yes, this is like a detective game. It's like, talk to everyone, figure out absolutely everything, and then piece together what's going on.
You must be lost to wander around Sinedra Forest. I'm afraid I have very little to offer.
The fact that you're even, like, willing to offer potentially anything is funny enough, because we just walked into your house. without invitation.
You're welcome to stay and catch your breath. Frankly, I could use the company.
Still weird.
Who are you?
The name's Ernest Cadell. My family has tilled the earth here for generations. When the Sabinian army dug in for the winter, they used our home as their headquarters. I wasn't here at the time, but my sons were. When I finally came back, the Sabinians were long gone.
Yeah. We're gonna learn this in a bit or later, but the sons are the ones that are depicted on the photographs on the graves that we just walked past. So, good times all around, yay.
They left my sons' bodies in the forest. My only solace is knowing that my fourth son might still be alive. I hope he finds his way home, if he's out there somewhere.
And now we have all of these topics, and I mean, this is already like a lot of info, with a lot of important, like, I guess, like, basic all-around things of what's happening right now. And this is like the first NPC, so if every NPC from here on out has this much info, this is gonna be amazing.
President Yanko, no matter how you feel about the bastard, he held everything together. His grandiose vision of unification kept a fragile peace together. That and his excessive brutality. He was the one that turned Hadia into a prison. No one was allowed out or in, keeping old grudges bobbling on the pot's rim, just waiting to boil over. When President Yanko blew his head off, the hand holding the lid was gone. War was inevitable. I managed to survive 2 years of this damn war. No parent should have to bury a child, let alone 3. I'm left to endure this torment. That's what we do. We carry on, no matter what.
That's honestly kind of bleak, if you think about it, but also it's like, what else do you do? Just, like, as you said, like, losing 3 children, having to bury them, that's just, yikes.
Despite all of it, I know we Palamists will win this war. We have Setharis on our side. The Sabs only pretend to worship him, which will be their undoing. Trust me.
And we also have some religious conflict, which definitely will be explored in this. In the demo we could already see some of that, and parts of that are really interesting. Frankly, I just want to know where that goes.
I don't know much about them. All I know is that the peacekeepers came here to calm things down. The first and only time I saw them was when they were leaving the country. I was walking on the side of the road when a convoy of white trucks rolled by. I noticed one of the soldiers. He was the only one smiling. He looked like Arlo, one of my boys. He waved at me. Oddly, I found myself waving back.
That's, like, honestly, I think that's kind of creepy. Like, no matter if it is his boy or if it isn't, it's just, like, weird that that's, like, the only one smiling at him and waving at him. That's just, that feels weird.
I think it was a lost cause to try and quell ancient hatreds. Sabs and Palamists have long memories. I think of that soldier from time to time. I hope he made it out of Hadia. I grew up hating Sabs, without question. My pap and my dad hated them. That was enough reason for me.
As it is for most people. Sometimes it's just the society you're born into is just, that's the belief system you inherit.
Now, I damn well know why I despise the bastards. I'd be at the front if I were any younger. I'd show the subs as much mercy as they did my boys.
And that is probably very understandable in war. Yeah, we can already see from just this bit of like general information, this is gonna be delving into heavy topics, and probably for the most part there is no happiness here. I don't expect that we find much nice things. This will be pain, suffering, and misery. And I mean, those are topics that absolutely need to be explored sometimes, but this is also probably, like, if this is the entrance of the game, it's like, how bad will it be later?
I've always seen we Palomists as creatures of habit. Like most of us, I hold my God and traditions close to my heart. We are humble and modest and tend to help our neighbors, so long as they're Palomists. We love gatherings, especially during the week of peace.
Good. And now to the actual plot as to why we are
Do
here.
you know where the village of Jova is located?
It's in Akasa Marshes. It's quite a ways from here. I'm afraid you're going to need a vehicle. Unfortunately, I have none. A group of strange-looking soldiers arrived here last night in an APC. And perhaps you can ask them for help. It's not the first time I've seen them. They always seem to be snooping around here for something.
Where can I find the APC?
They parked their APC just beyond the woods, to the north. Once in the woods, follow the wind chimes. They will lead the way through. I hung them in the trees so my sons would stop getting lost when they were children. Sethlers, bless their souls. The gate to enter the woods is locked. Here, take this key to unlock it.
Hey, Gus, Arlo, Otis, please pick up. It's Atticus. I've been trying to call for days now. The phone lines keep going down, so I don't know when I'll be able to call you back, but I'll keep trying. Hey, don't go killing Sabs without me. See you soon.
And that right there is probably one of my favorite features in this game. How many games have audio logs that you actually have to like listen to and you cannot walk past? Investigation. If you're unsure of how to proceed in your main objectives, open the datapad and navigate to the Investigation tab. Select an investigation to see all associated datum you have discovered. You may then select the datum to see the specific information you have gathered so far. And that is also one of the very interesting things, because every information we have is in a freaking chart. And we see here, the APC. We don't really know where it is, but we know something about it. It's owned by an unknown military group, parked beyond the woods north of the Ernest farm. The overall location, we are in Sinatra Forest. Simple description, it's an armored personal carrier used to transport military troops. And it is part of our family reunion quest, so to speak, because we need to use this to get to the place where we want to look around. And we have other things, an heirloom from our mother. My mother gave it to me when I was 5 years old, as she was smuggling me out of Hadia. oddly shaped pendant made of an unknown alloy. Which, of course, once we probably find certain things, we will understand what this may be made of, and other things. We have the village of Jova. This is the village of my childhood, and it's the last known location of my parents. It's where I was born. Ernest Cadell said that Jova is quite far, and I need a vehicle to reach it. We know the location in Acacia Marshes, and of course, probably this will open up an entire new tree of things. Right now it only gives us, if we click on it, an extra entry for the blacksmith. My father was the blacksmith in the village of Jova. Don't remember what he looks like. And also, of course, our mother lived there. We also don't know what she looks like, which that's kind of sad, honestly. Ernest Cadell, owner of a farmland, he knows where the village of Jova is located, suggests that I hitch a ride with the soldiers to the north. And he's an old man hiding in the basement of his farmhouse. Yeah, and mother and father. But this still, like, right now this is just for the family reunion. We want to investigate what happened to our parents, if they're still alive, we want to find them. But everything we find will open up new things and will add information to this. And I just honestly hope that there will be just actual mystery plots that we can uncover as the player, that we can like figure out certain things, that we actually get to like solve riddles with this and figure out the story, piece together the lore. It's funny as hell, because actually wind chimes are something that for me is somewhat sentimental, because my grandmother in her old home had some of those, and well, she sadly has passed this year, so right now this is definitely one of those moments. This has definitely seen better days, which also makes me question of just like, what is this farmer doing here all the time? Like, does he even have anything to really do and enough food? Because he seems really just isolated without great functioning equipment. Yeah, the APC. Soldier that seems to be covered in blood. And an alive soldier in front of a weird freaking looking door.
You found me. Epsilon 12, right? God, I can't see shit. I have blood in my eyes. You must have honed in on my distress beacon.
Well, we probably actually didn't, but this is still interesting to know, because it means that he has called for help. And so far it doesn't seem like any help has arrived.
Who are you?
Omsif 0451, Epsilon 11. I got separated from my unit. They're still down there behind that door. We were on an SSC. We got jumped. I'm not sure how I got here. All I remember is hearing that door shutting behind me. I must have triggered something. We need the key to the APC. We need to get the fuck out of here.
Who has the APC key?
The sergeant has the key. He's inside with the team. The sergeant's easy to spot. He's the one with a dark red poncho. Shit. I'm hurt pretty bad. I need to stop the bleeding.
How can you even efficiently do that when you can't really see? Isn't that like a little handicap in doing that?
Look, we have a med kit in the camp we set up in the woods west of here. We marked the trees to make it easier to navigate. Bring me the med kit, and I'll give you what you need to open the door.
Well, no more information from him for now, but if we now look at family reunion, he is added here. Omsev 0451. Asked me to retrieve a medkit. He told me the sergeant has the key to the APC. What's more interesting is probably the description. Wearing an unmarked black military uniform. Severely wounded and slowly bleeding out. And right now I would of course ask the question of like, what the hell did this to him? Because there doesn't seem to be anything else around other than another dead soldier. And the farmer also said that these are some weird soldiers that he doesn't know. So this uniform might be something really special. And we got an update on the APC, which is highlighted. We now know that it's operated by OMSIF Unit Epsilon 11, and the key to the APC is carried by the OMSIF Sergeant with a red poncho. Maybe not the most interesting information overall, but still a good showcase of like how when you find new clues, how they're added to this web, and how we therefore can, again, when the plot thickens, actually probably piece together interesting pieces of information. We're not gonna go down up there right now. We have a compass that actually is kinda cool, because again, the game has no map, the game is completely just like, run around wherever you wanna be, explore, and this is just great when people tell you like, somewhere to the west, and you're like, okay, somewhere there, I guess. A small note with the writing of a child. It seems to be a clue for some kind of treasure hunt found deep in Sinatra Forest. You dammers won't ever find where I hid the key. You're all too stupid. Arlo can't even read. Four Eyes Gus is probably too blind to see the red boulder, and Artie's too small to climb all the way up the hill. Now we heard the name Arlo before, so that's somewhat interesting. And we got equipable items. Some items related to investigations or explorations can be equipped in your loadout or for easy access. Once equipped, they can be activated by using hotkeys in the same way as consumable items. Literally meaning, we can, as a usable item, take this clue, put it in here, and then instead of using our compass, just read this again. If we ever need it. Which, right now I don't think is that necessary, but it's another thing of like, that just tells us to go and do mystery stuff, to figure out things, to look around and potentially maybe like re-look at clues to figure stuff out. And also we have to look around anyway, because we're always gonna find weird things here and there. A bronze bell marred with scorch marks and natural abrasion. One of the things that instantly sticks out to me here is the weird eye symbol at the top and the pickaxe on the bell itself. And more of the eyes down there. Those are two symbols that actually, once we open that door and look for the captain, we will see a lot. And honestly, right now I'm still not entirely sure what those really mean. And more stuff that we can't read. Also, another thing that's really interesting is all these big holes that are all over the place. Questionable where they are, what they're from, I mean. And we're back on the original main road. Definitely did not go the way that we're supposed to for the quest we're on. Which is also probably a big warning for any person that wants to play this and is like, oh, I can easily get lost. It's like, yes, you will get lost. This does not have a map. You have a compass and that's it. And if you don't find your way, then, yeah, good luck. You will probably then just wander around in circles forever. But yeah, the soldier said something about marking trees. That definitely looks like a marked tree. get to walk around more atmospheric stuff. There is the blue boulder that we read in the note from the children, or the child, I guess it's one child that did it. And we sadly can't climb. Here is another part of that. Even if you blockheads find the key, I bet you never find the treasure chest. The blue paint is harder to see than the red. Which of course tells us that, number one, we need to find a red set of boulders or stones for the key. And that we somehow have to find a way to go up there to the blue, we can actually see the chest from here. So far, again, very simplistic and not something super mega special, but still a little mystery to solve, a little thing to look out for. And honestly, that is already quite something, to just have little things to do. Have something to look around for. Right now I'm not really looking around at all, because, well, it's the same thing from the demo, and I sadly have an impeccable sense of direction, so I walked through this entire area once and I'm already like, oh yeah, this is where this is where that is, this is where you can look at this. And I'm like, I hope this helps me for the rest of the game as well. But for the rest of the game I will have to actually look at things. And I can't just run through and be like, oh, I already know where the key is. It's up here on this side path. It's gonna be very interesting to actually find my way for the first time, because I'm just expecting that the rest of the game is gonna be bigger, right? It's gonna be more stuff. And we have whatever the hell this is. The first time I made a joke about crop circles when I played the demo, because let's be honest, it looks like it. And more stuff we can't read, that I also didn't get back to. Maybe I will remember this time. You can also gather some wonderful thing that I don't know what it's about yet. A glass vial filled with an unknown substance. Which is definitely therefore a reason why you should always take it with you, because you never know when that might be toxic or acid or whatever else that could kill you. I don't know, it's just weird. Like, if you find an undefined substance, would you carry that around with you? Like, I wouldn't. OMSIF report field research. An abridged summary of events concerning a mysterious anomaly found at the OMSIF base camp in Senedra Forest. Survey report OMSIF Epsilon 11, January 19th, 1993. Goddammit, I can't read numbers. Subject, anomaly imprint number 0016. Estimated time since anomaly collapse, 1056 years. Based on resonant topology signature. Coincides with fifth cycle harmonics. Actions taken. Following items forwarded to facility ZC-02 for further analysis. Complete imaging profile of site. Concentric pattern core samples extracted around anomaly locus. Proximate flora samples. Right now, most of that does not mean anything. It feels like weird whatever. But I mean, this could be the concentric signs they're talking about in the vicinity. And then we have the last thing to gather, which is the medkit. Which was a yellow little light instead of the white light, so items have specific colors based on how important they are. If they're important for a main quest, if they're important for a side quest. That's also always great. Then we just took a little jump down. A little jump down also would bring us up there. We would have taken this way. But it also is just a different way here, where we get to our blue rock, our treasure chest. Behold, the magnificent treasure of the Cadell family. It belonged to our great-great-great-great-grandpa. P.S. Don't break it, you ditwits. And we got a piece of equipment. Because so far it does not seem like this game does have combat, but it definitely has. This is a Souls-like. And right now, none of this really means much. We will figure that out later, but we can actually already equip it. And the endurance bonus is actually, that is our health. And plus 500. Sounds like it's a lot, but no, we start with 4,000. Not that much, actually. I mean, it's more than you might expect. But it definitely isn't, like, ridiculous amounts, even though 500 sounds like a large number. And now... back. And the first time I played on the demo, I was like, I don't think he's gonna be alive anymore, is he? But no, he's still there. But
I need the med kit. Just follow the marked trees in the woods west of here.
yeah, this was on purpose, because it was something the first time I was like, wait, what? How do I, like, progress you? But we have to trade with him to give him the med kit.
Good. You got the med kit. Okay. You see that ladder over there? Climb it to the top. Take this. You'll need it to open the door. You'll figure it out.
An ancient mechanism. An old, dilapidated mechanism meant to open the door to the ruins in Sinatra Forest, given to me by a wounded OMSIF agent without any further instruction. But yeah. More updates on him. He used the medkit, he gave me what I need to activate the door. His bleeding has stopped, but he still needs medical attention. But yeah, that is why I didn't climb the ladder at first, because we're doing this now. Also, if you sprint up a ladder, it looks somewhat comical how fast he tries to climb it. But yeah, having to trade in items, I honestly think that's a bit weird in this way, but I guess it works. Once you get used to it, probably doesn't matter. The first time I did it in the demo, I was so confused. I was like, why is this not something you can just talk to them and progress? It's like, nope, you have to do this. And we have this definitely very special symbol with the pickaxe again. I'm just showing this now because it's needed for the puzzle that we have to complete here. More things to read that we don't understand. And weird things that we can interact with. Because we have this weird ancient mechanism. Not sure if it's the mechanism itself or if it's more like the key to the mechanism. And then we have symbols that we of course have to somehow figure out what order they're in, which of course is easily seen here. Except one symbol is missing, because that's the plate that's on the other side. So it's pickaxe, eye, and the two, well, multiple horns. Again, these three symbols, they do appear a lot in the upcoming plays. They definitely have significant meaning. I am not sure at all what the pickaxe means, because that one we'll get to when we see it. Also, there is fall damage.
I knew you'd figure it out. Now get the APC key so we can get the hell out of here.
And now we get to ask him about the exact same things that we got to ask our little farmer friend about. So let's do that.
I've been to some fucked up places around the world. But this place redefines insanity.
Is that like the great thing you want to hear when you're like, hey, I want to look around and figure things out about my missing family potentially? Are they even alive or whatnot? And it's like, this is a bad place.
I heard that they're still fighting in some parts of the country. You'd think they would have a ceasefire by now or something. Man, you really have to hate someone to keep going like that.
That might be a big lore piece. That the two sides really are not just at odds with each other, but like potentially there's something more to it.
That's all smoke and mirrors. It's a pity they have no clue what part they played.
And that I am not entirely sure yet what it means. But we'll figure that out.
They're guinea pigs. Who gives a shit?
Very straightforward, but also somewhat evil in an answer.
Rats in a maze, man. Rats in a maze.
Which is kind of the same as guinea pigs, but those are the two sides. The Palomists are, again, like the farmer, who is one, and the Sabinians are the enemy. And this soldier in these unknown uniform just says both of them are like, I mean, guinea pigs and rats in a maze, which is somewhat similar. Which I'm not entirely sure what to make of that, and what I should think about that. Yeah, I'm not gonna open this for absolutely every single time we get info, but because right now it's not really much new stuff that we got from that. Do however have another tab also here that's exploration. And one part of that was showing us that we have this treasure hunt and it is completed. So if we find more things like that, like the initial clue, we can actually look back at it and be like, hey, there is still stuff to find here. Which I guess is also very good if you like stop this game in the middle of something and then you come back and it's like, hey, you can look up what you've been doing. And there goes the door. Or rather, it's not even the door, it's like literally stone. Just for some reason we just like the entire rock above us just collapsed. Which is great when you then look in here and it's like skeletons. Yay, we're definitely going in a place that we will definitely get out alive. No problem whatsoever, right? And then you look at it and it's like, this looks ancient. This does not look modern. What we saw so far, the soldier, the APC, looked all modern, but this is like stone statues of knights. And like old metal bars. Like this is a very, very interesting place to be in. And we have modern equipment in here. The soldiers, they went in here, research. They tried to figure something out. Now you tell us about saving, which we could also do at the farm. Using a save point will conserve your progress. Should you be defeated in combat, you will return to the last save point used. Upon defeat, your progress will be preserved regardless of save point used. This includes conversations, data discovered, puzzles completed, enemies eliminated, weapon progress, and loot gathered. Which you kind of expect from a soulslike. The thing I think is interesting is that they say enemies eliminated. And I'm just sitting there like, does it mean enemies don't respawn? Like, at all? Which, sadly, I couldn't figure out in the demo, because, like, again, as I said when I chose difficulty, That was feeling a bit easy and I just didn't die. I should have to test that out. An OMSIF report detailing their findings upon arrival in the ruins, found in the underground ruin of Sinedra Forest. SSE report, OMSIF Epsilon 11, January 22, so 3 days later. Subject, underground site Lambda 02. Preliminary dust analysis determines the site has been completely sealed since at least 937 AD, coinciding with the height of 5th Limbic invasion. Actions taken. Successfully unlock door mechanism to gain entry into site. Preliminary exploration and securing of first chambers. Collection and catalog of items list below. Installation of base camp equipment. Following items forward to facility ZC-02 for further analysis. Dust samples from each chamber. Drone imaging sweep of each chamber. 4 times iron tools for historical analysis, iron shackles for historical analysis, 5 times teeth from separate skeletal remains for DNA analysis. Actions planned. Unseal next doorway in the morning of January 23rd. Auditory cues reveal possible entity presence. Exercise extreme caution as entity contact likely. Set up contingency evacuation plan. Which means 3 days they were here, they set up, and they have not found anything dangerous so far. They just found the ancient stuff. They took some of it and delivered it to a lab for historical analysis. But so far, they were mostly just preparing for something. So far nothing really happened, but then we see all these dead people and we know things went wrong.
Hey, you okay? Hey! Fuck. What the fuck?
There we are at first combat. God damn it. My head is in a different game. I'm literally... Circle is dodge. I'm pressing R1 right now. I'm somewhere else. But back to that cutscene. That was a lot. Number one, it shows that there are guns in this game, this universe. But guns are not efficient at all against these things, which are the entities that we have already read some things about. Secondly, we have this soldier lady just survive and then die against one normal enemy, which is kind of just somewhat sad, also somewhat just like meh. I don't like it when this happens in stories where it's like some veteran who has already survived, who knows how long, and then suddenly dies, so that the much less known character, our protagonist, can take over and struggle their way through. Because it just feels unearned if they now succeed where this veteran doesn't. But we also got all of her equipment, which is including a cool sword and a drone. And both of these are things that I want to read. Well, short interruption that I probably cut out. Back to reading. Strange weapon. Perhaps my father knows something about this strange weapon. This weapon is the only thing that can hurt the creatures. Medieval weapon emitting strange energy. And you might also now question, why is this connected to our family reunion? Why would our father know? Because we have an update on our heirloom necklace. Seems to be made of the same material as the strange weapon. Which... that is the first big mystery, I guess. Why do we have this heirloom if that's made of this same unknown alloy as this weird sword that can hurt these also, right now, weird entities? Because our main character doesn't seem to know what they are. He has no clue. The soldiers here may actually do. We also got an update on the soldier. Oh no, that's just... wasn't saved when we last had that one. But yeah, we have a sword, which has a lot of stats right now that, I'm gonna be honest, so far are not necessarily super interesting. Most of them are just not meaning that much. The one thing I want to point out that's really interesting is the way the combo hit damage is displayed, because that really seems like, if you look at the numbers, the second and third hit, these can't be like they just added the numbers together, so each hit is more powerful than the first, and especially the fourth hit is very powerful. So if you can do full combos, that might be really good. Which I struggled a lot against that one enemy right now, but again, pressing wrong buttons, that will probably be better in the future. We can still... no, we can't read it here. We can probably read about it somewhere else. Compass. I don't know if I read this. I don't think I did. Aluminium alloy frame, water and corrosion resistant, widely used by many European military and ON peacekeeping forces. This also puts us into a general direction on where on Earth we are, but otherwise it's a compass. The necklace, a pendant given to me by my mother when I was 5 years old. It was the last time that I saw her. It is made from an unknown material that is always cold to the touch. And our datapad. A datapad I stole from the ON base camp before entering Hadia. Specifications, weight, manufacturer. Right now, none of those seem that interesting. The notes from the treasure, the things we found that we don't really know much about right now. The field research we saw, we can...
Hey, Gus, Arlo, Otis, please pick up.
Yeah,
It's Atticus.
listen to the audio log again if we want to. And we don't have info about this. Okay, I thought we actually did. And here is also tiny spoiler what we can do with our drone. But yes, our drone. Multi-purpose unit equipped with combat and reconnaissance coroutines to support OMSIF field teams. Titanium alloy frame, battery powered, includes 4 upgrade ports for advanced logic modules. And one of them we already have is the ability to distract. Unit emits amplified limbic resonances, rapidly oscillating, I can't read, between emotional signatures overwhelming the faculties of targeted limbic entity and incapacitating it in the process. Again, a little bit of a spoiler that we have that, but this is actually what that woman did in the cutscene, which is another thing I wanted to talk about with the cutscene. It actually showed in-game actions we can perform and also how the enemy attacks, which is kind of interesting. We got shard, neutral, small. Crystallized shard formed in the congealed mass of fallen limbic entities. Resonates faintly with the latent limbic energy of the slain entity. I'm guessing these are upgrade materials and other things. And then we got different equipment from the pre-order deluxe. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use them right now. Probably not. Not right now. But maybe a bit later. Door. And we're supposed to input a code, which right now we don't know. But yeah. It's interesting that they choose to make a cutscene in a way that actually reflects some of the things you can do in-game. Because a lot of games don't do that. Also, I think this is the way we came from. So much to getting lost. Already starting. We haven't even gone through the demo part of the game. And we now have a flashlight. How many games have you played where you wish you could sometimes just turn on a cool extra light and it doesn't in any way hamper you in anything? You can just still do normal things. You don't have to like have a torch in your hand or something. It is, however, a flashlight, so if we shine it over here, it doesn't really illuminate the other side of the room. But now that we have the drone, we can read weird language. First, the sinners are brought to the tower. Which is not that much of a sentence, it's very short. But looking at this entire stone table, that's a lot of symbols for that. Which, I'm not entirely sure, therefore, if we're like just paraphrasing and this is written in a completely different way, or if this is just video game logic and it's like, we needed this to look cool, so they are big, long paragraphs of symbols, but they actually are very concise in meaning. And basic medkit, small. Instantly recover health. Household medkit suitable for treating minor injuries. Contains basic medical supplies, bandages, gauze, antiseptics, painkillers. Yay! Which we can equip to heal ourselves. Obviously. Which I'm gonna do. We got 5 of them. And we got 2 doors. And more enemy. The game wants us to guard, but I want to show off something else actually. We also have a heavy attack that we can hold. And when we do, number one, the damage is much, much bigger. Number two, it took some of that white bar in the top left underneath our health and stamina, which is limbic energy. So far, it has no other purpose than we can use it for this charge. But as we can see, it is now lowered and it does not just regenerate. It does regenerate when we hit these limbic entities. And I guess there will be more interesting uses later. But this one definitely is like... the difference in damage from a normal attack and that charge is pretty heavy. And finally, the sinners will fall into the fires of hell. Important part about that is the wording, because yes, these are the code for the door. First the tower, finally hell. So we got part 1 and part 3, so this door will be part 2. And more tutorials. The endurance system combines two vital stats, health and stamina, and is represented by the green bar at the top of the screen. Yes, you read that correctly. It is both represented by the green bar at the screen. Maximum health is equal to your endurance. Maximum stamina is equal to your current health. If you take damage, you have less stamina, which is used to perform actions such as attacking and dodging. That is one of those punishing systems that sometimes feel overly ridiculous, but are kind of meaningless when you get good at the game. So right now, I'm not the biggest fan of this. Maybe I will change my opinion on that later, because I'm not sure if this adds that much to the game, but still, it definitely is something new. As you receive hits from enemies, your health will decrease. In turn, this lowers the maximum stamina available for actions. Stamina will regenerate automatically up to your current health level. However, health does not regenerate automatically. If health reaches 0, you are defeated. As we know. But, actually hit me. Because I want to show something. That is not that easy to show. But maybe you can see it on the top of the screen and right now. That white energy around us when we hit enemies that then becomes a ring around us. You can hit R1 to heal once it's a ring. A little bit of your health can be recovered that way. The game will tell us that in a moment, but this system absolutely makes it so that you can, again, like kind of ignore what it just told us. You take a little tick of damage, you can just hit an enemy and get it back. Now, the healing is incredibly sensitive. Once you press R1, that is like your one chance at it. If you pressed it like a millisecond too early, the game is like, nah, you messed it up, you don't get this heal. And of course we have the emergency healing with the medkits, so it's not like this is the only way to heal, but it is just like infinite healing by just playing the game, just like hitting enemies and you can just get it back. It's a bit more involved than like rally mechanics from like Bloodborne or even Lies of P, where it's only regainable when you block an attack, but still, this just, I don't know, it makes it so that you can just kind of infinitely heal off of hitting enemies, so as long as you get hits off, you can stay alive. And that's also, again, what I meant with, like, once you get hit, your stamina decreases, but it's like, if you can heal this easily, unless an enemy hits you for like half your health, I don't really see the big problem, so that system feels a bit, I don't know, meaningless. It's not that much of a danger as it sounds like, of like, oh no, I lose health, I lose stamina, but like, Again, once you figure out a little bit the patterns of the enemies, it's not that bad. And I perfectly showed off that I didn't do that yet, and it still didn't matter that much. Which is also another thing that I definitely want to say. The enemies are very jittery. Reading their movements is not as easy as it sounds like. But yeah, on to the third, or rather the second entry. Then they will endure the climb through the twin-headed serpent. So, Tower, Serpent, Hell is our code for the door. Also, these are actually like... Yeah, these are paper. These are like pergament rolls and stuff. If this is this freaking ancient... I mean, it was sealed, so maybe they did not really... You know, like paper does degrade over time, but you can seal it potentially in certain ways that it doesn't. Maybe when this whole thing was sealed, everything is fine, but still, it's like ridiculous how much of this is still like perfectly there without any issue. Or maybe that's just me overanalyzing things. So, we could have done the other way, that's faster. Tower, the fires of hell, and other way around for the two-headed serpent. And it means it in the other way. So, that means tower, I should have done it the other way around. Damn it. It doesn't do it the way I want it to. There was the order. Professional riddle solver at the works. Yes, perfectly. This is how we do it. First, sinners are brought to the tower. Then serpent. I am an idiot. I cannot... I mean, I can count to 3, but apparently it's 1, 3, 2. I am good at this. Yes, I am very intelligent. I am an incredible person that definitely never makes any mistake. Yes. Yes. I mean... Now you know what you're in for with a game that's about probably riddle solving, deep diving into lore, and all the mysteries. Yay. And this is a very small stone plate that has a lot of text on it. Once swallowed into the depths of the twin-headed serpent tear, the wretched Sabinian vermin shall be excreted onto the flaying pits of the accursed Himolara fields. Two things. Number one, this is ancient and it still talks about the Sabinians that are also our enemies right now, kind of, I guess. I'm not sure, is our guy on the side of the Palomists or not? I don't think we know that. Other thing, the sun with the eye symbol that we've seen, the two serpents that we've heard about a lot, and the symbol we have seen, and incredibly potent in the middle, the pickaxe. The way it is depicted on that socket, it feels more like the pickaxe could be a key, like the one we used at the start to open the door, where we had to do the first riddle to put the 3 symbols in the right order. It feels like this might be some very, very special key. At least that's my theory right now. Otherwise, why the hell is it a pickaxe? And now the game tells us to dodge. I'm just saying that because it's like, we already had combat. Shouldn't you maybe have told us that earlier? We also have more very interesting environmental storytelling. This is like a prison. We've seen the tower, or at least one tower at the start actually, when we went up to the farm. I sent something about like how good this looks. And there in the background we could see a tower, well, towering above everything. And they now talked about the sinners are brought to the tower, so I'm just sitting here like, are they just putting all their, like, criminals and whatnot, like the ancient civilization, did they take all their criminals and just brought them into this tower to feed them to some kind of serpent monster? Journal, prison guard. A preserved journal belonging to a guard stationed at some kind of prisoner holding facility, found in the underground ruins of Sinedra Forest. I am filled with glee as they enter, row after row, shackled in bondage of their own making. Astarian, Gehennian, filthy cattle, their stench is unbearable. How I wish my duty would take me to the spire, to hear their cries, to revel in their laments as they finally grasp the errors of their ways. Alas, my charge lies here. My queen requires it. Zephyrus requires it. I am to shepherd the sinners as they await their final judgment at the spire. I'm guessing the spire is the tower? And it's literally what I just said about it. They were just taking everyone, like, all the people that are unworthy, all the evil, all the sinners, or probably all their criminals. Or now that this guy, this node, actually also mentions Zephyrus, the god that the Palomists believe in, probably also all non-believers, all heretics and stuff, and they just ferry them to the spire. New usable item. Instantly gain limbic energy with wielded weapon. Single-use device slowly absorbs and stores limbic energy. Instantly discharges all stored energy on contact with limbic material. Again, the limbic energy already said we can use it right now for not much, but we can also recharge it by using an item. I'm guessing that is going to be our, like, magic resource when we go further into this and find more stuff. Right now we just don't have much for it, but it's good to know that we can also get a consumable to just recharge it all the time. So it's not just by attacking enemies. We can have other sources of it. And more equipment. Now that we have two of it, may actually take a look at both of the things we have. The first one, defensive gear, it has a limbic sphere, which potentially could be, I don't know, maybe if you put on sets of things that have the same thing, that they enhance each other. Right now it doesn't look like it, there's no information in it, it's something that I think could be something. Potentially later on. We have a grate, which might mean we can upgrade it. And then this defensive gear has stats. Damage absorption 5%. So I just simply guessing we take 5% less damage. Endurance bonus, that's our health. At the side we see it at our hero stats, which is another thing that just tells us that our main character doesn't have a name. And we have stamina cost reduction, which also seems very good. Also limbic power. While grievously wounded, reduce stamina cost of all actions. So I'm guessing when you get low, like in many games, your health is going to flicker or something, or the edges of the screen turn red, and once you're in that range of health, then we have this of like probably using only half stamina or something. And the new thing, it's a different limbic sphere, it's Terror. Also damage absorption 5%, also 500 endurance boost, protection bonus 20%, and 20-second lingering duration. I don't know what that means yet. The only thing that I could feel could be that it may have something to do with like the white energy that we absorb from enemies. When I said like we can heal with that, potentially that. Also, limbic power. Remaining undamaged will reduce the damage you take. That's always a good thing. In a lot of games, that's great. Also, we now see damage absorption jumped to 30% on the right side. Which means that the damage absorption and the protection bonus seem to be favored into the same thing. And the current bonus is the damage protection bonus from this, so yeah, because we are full health right now, we get this bonus. Again, I guess that maybe potentially we will get set boost for these at some point. Because right now it doesn't seem to matter what sphere they are off. But since it is mentioned, it has to mean something. Oh goddamn. Now, are you going to fall as well? No. The answer is no. But yeah, it wouldn't be a Souls-like if you can't fall off in the middle of combat. That is like one of the most important pillars of what game can be classified as Souls-like. We have to have does not open from the side. We have to absolutely have the important fall into your own death in the middle of trying to do something. Healing poles. There is the tutorial that I did preemptively. When you successfully hit an enemy, faint particles appear around you. When these particles coalesce into a solid ring and the bar in the HUD flashes white, you can activate the Healing Pulse ability. This ability will consume the particles and restore health equal to a percentage of the damage dealt by the hit that triggered the particles. Potentially meaning, if you find a giant big smacky sword or something like that, you can heal for bigger things. So, that's interesting. The particles would disappear if you wait too long, or if you take damage, or again, if you press it out of order and you do it a little bit too early. Well, actually, that's not true. It says the particles would disappear. No, that's not true. They do not directly disappear. It just doesn't work anymore. Particles can be accumulated exponentially over multiple successful hits, greatly increasing the amount of health received by healing pulse. And this is what I mean why that's interesting, that like if you do more damage, it does more. So with little weapons, you can potentially like combo a lot. You can do like 5 hits and it will heal you something. But with a bigger, slower weapon, you might get the same benefit in one hit, but it's a slower weapon, so potentially against certain enemy it's more difficult to hit them and you have to wait around longer. So this could be an interesting extra little benefit of like choosing your favorite weapon based on the enemies you encounter, because sometimes you might just want something faster, sometimes you would be okay with something more slower. But yeah, the enemies are just, I don't know, they're weirdly jittery. I'm right now mostly just like somewhat panic dodging away from them because I can't really estimate their attacks yet. Even after playing the demo, I'm like, no. And now it's like, hey, charge up. It does not tell us that it actually consumes limbic energy. Which it definitely does. But still, the effectiveness of the charge is definitely something we can't ignore. And more consumables to get that energy back. Which is good to know, knowing that that is, if you want it and if you need it later, that this seems to be just a normal collectible thing you get a lot of. The drone distract ability. Facing two enemies who fight in tandem can be challenging. In these situations, using your drone's distract ability can be helpful. Your drone can be commanded to distract the enemy you are currently locked onto. It will fly towards the enemy and begin distracting it, preventing it from attacking you for a time. The distraction will continue until the duration of the ability has run its course. You activate the ability again and recall the drone. You attack the distracted enemy. When the distract ability ends for any reason, the drone will return to your side and the distract ability will enter a cooldown period during which it cannot be used again. Simple, yet effective, I would say. We can just distract you and then focus all of our attention on the other enemy. And you also realize that I'm face tanking a little. You can just heal. But yeah, you have to wait a little bit for the healing for you to actually use it. Now, this distractibility doesn't cost anything, it's just on cooldown. Literally meaning there is no reason to ever not use it. But also, the menu that we have for it has 3 more things. When we read the drone, it said it has 4 slots. Seems to check out. Which also means we will get a lot of other abilities, so potentially we could have an entire arsenal of different things. That's very intriguing. And a new weapon, Limbic Twin Axis. Which also updated our investigation, because now we can look at here. And it says there are different types of these weapons. And, oh yeah, this seems to be of the same material. That was not how I wanted to go back. I wanted to get here to equip the second weapon. Interesting thing. It has a level and a grade. So level is probably normal upgrading, but grade might mean either a different upgrade or at some point we will just get like the same thing again but a higher grade. This one also definitely does much less damage per hit because we can see the combo hit damage, but oh yeah. Switching weapons, L2 and up. That is weird. But yeah, this feels a good chunk faster than the other weapon. Which is, funnily enough, if you look at it, it actually has a thing where it's like guard protection when you block. The axes have 0%, the sword has 15%. I haven't blocked yet, so we don't really see that. Limbic theft, which probably is about like how much of the limbic energy we restore, or potentially related to the health restoration also. But it also has parry agility and attack speed. And we see that the axe is better in both of these. It has an A, while the sword has a B and a C. So that's also actually interesting, because yeah, if you perfectly time a block to certain attacks of your enemies, the attacks where the enemy is in a weird shade of red, you can perfect block it, and you can see how fast you can mash it with this. And yeah, it's not that much, but a little bit slower. From the tests in the demo, I like the sword more, just to be honest. But one thing that also is interesting is that the axe seems to not really be accurate in how it hits. The damage numbers that display are 2 damage numbers because we have 2 axes. Makes some sense. But it feels like the damage displayed here seems to be only for a singular axe. So that's kind of weird. And we have a new thing where we can try it, but no, this item doesn't fit here. We cannot use our heirloom. We have to find something that has this shape and form. And it's a different thing over here. And now that we have that... Oh, it doesn't put it there yet. Okay, it only appears in there when we get the actual item we need there. Then a new mystery pops up of like, figure out what this is and where to use it. Parry. Some attacks can be parried by using the guard action on the right at the right moment, just as the enemy changes color. A successful parry will negate damage and remove some of the enemy's stance. When a parry depletes all of an enemy's stance, you can use Repose to deal more damage. So the good old Souls-like parry to destabilize them, guard break, stance break, poise break, whatever we want to call it, and then get to do a critical attack. But, as you may have seen, that was a parry. It didn't do anything, because the enemy didn't change color. There, the enemy did. I'm trying to actually wait for an attack now, but like... You're not doing that. That can be like... Like, it can bury it and stuff, but like... That was not perfectly timed. Doo-doo-doo. God damn it, no, it's too far away. That was still not the right timing. And that was too late. I think, however, this definitely shows what I mean when I say the enemies are jittery. This was not successful, but it's like, ugh. It's also kind of difficult to make it successful. Let no Sabinian captive cross the threshold at the jail clad in so much as a threat. All must be stripped bare as befits the despicable and the condemned. That's great and hopeful, and then we see this. These are all kind of like cloth fragments. So they mean what they say. They are literally just like, yup, nothing. That's great. Wonderful. But back to combat is like, I don't know. So far, these the limbic entities are not that nice to fight like this. I'm trying. It's just not happening. But yeah, it's also that you can't just... There it is! But yeah, it's the issue. You can't just do it on every attack. It's only specific attacks that actually have them change color to red. Or maybe also other color changes in the future, but right now it's only red. It also has the issue, as you just saw there, the game wanted me to press X, but square is the normal attack, so on one hand I guess it's cool, for sometimes you want to like get some extra hits in to get some more damage, but it also means you have to press another button so you can accidentally just miss it because you don't pay attention. which in the middle of combat sometimes could be rough. Especially when you potentially have multiple enemies to worry about. I honestly don't want to go back to my sword. It's a good chunk slower. Definitely, but I kind of like the feel more. There it is, Ram Head Medallion, Viridian. A Viridian sheen covers this metallic medallion featuring a relief of a ram's head, found in the underground ruins of Sinedra Forest. And there it is, Secrets of the Ram Mystery Discovered. So again, it's not when you find the door, but it is when you find one of the two keys. Which right now doesn't do anything because we need a second one to open the door. So there's no reason to go back because it just doesn't do anything. I mean, you can insert it. I did that in the demo, but it doesn't help. You need the second thing. Most interactable elements cannot be used in combat, with the exceptions of ladders and loot. Interesting to know. Neither of those are here, except there is a lever. Which definitely is not a ladder or loot, so this is us telling us, you gotta fight this thing, no matter what. And we also see this is an enemy that has 2 bars of the potential parry, like their stance. So we would need to parry them twice. But again, as you've seen, like after I did it once, the next 3 attacks they did, they were not the parryable ones. So I don't know. It is interesting because it is a different way to do it, but if the enemies only have certain attacks that can be parried, the whole system kind of loses a little bit of its efficiency. Because if you want to do it, it's like you have to either wait around, or you just don't get the full benefit because you can just fight them without doing it and do it faster. I don't know. Maybe later on the enemies will be more interesting and then the system makes much more sense. I could see that. And I'm not gonna, like, judge it until that point. Until I actually played, like, multiple hours of this and seen different things. And then I'm gonna be like, oh, this is actually cool. Or I'm gonna go back to this and be like, no, this feels like a wasted opportunity. Let no prisoner be led beyond these walls unbound. From neck to ankle there must be shackled, that none may stride unburdened in the tower's shadow. Another wonderful, hopeful message of this wonderful place that is definitely not just a prison, but also a moral degradation facility, I guess. Yay! Always good that these games, Souls-likes, are very happy. That is very much a sarcastic joke. I don't know of any happy Souls-like. They are all like this. A letter, Sabinian's superstition. An unsent letter from a Sabinian soldier to his brother, found in the trenches of Sinedra Forest near the ruin entrance. Dear Marco, how ya been, brother? The unit's been camping out in Sinedra after our big push. Cold as all hell, let me tell ya. Feels good to get some rest, even if I'll likely lose a toe to frostbite out here. Hell, I got 9 more, right? I gotta tell you something, Marco. We found something while digging the trenches. A big, old door. Sealed shut and proper old. The captain ordered us to pry it open, and that just don't sit right with me. There are laws against this kind of thing. Remember how Grandpa gave us hell when we tried climbing that old wall near the lake? We aren't supposed to be disturbing heritage sites, even during a war. Captain lost his damned mind. We can't wait to hear from ya. Your bro, Martin. Interesting part that this is called Sabinian superstition. And it's from a Sabinian soldier. Even though this group of people has opened the door, the captain ordered us and we're looking for the captain. Right? This feels like it could actually be potentially this group, so maybe this group is made out of a mixture? Very interesting. Also interesting that it says there's a lore against this thing. Against opening rest site. Heritage sites, there it is. Which is very interesting if this is a heritage site, because this was, like from what we heard in here, the Sabinians were the ones who were treated badly and had to be shackled and led to the tower also, so that's very, very interesting. But yeah, Red Font Joe, this is the captain. This is not what we're here for, the drone bypass. It's an usable item, single-use bypass circuits to circumvent built-in safety protocols in advanced logic modules. Drone cooldowns minus 19 seconds. Literally, we can take our cooldowns and shorten them. The interesting part here is that it says drone cooldowns. So I'm going to assume that you can use multiple drone abilities simultaneously. We also got OMSIF Deployment Order, Sinedra. An OMSIF Deployment Order to investigate Sinedra Forest, recovered from a fallen OMSIF sergeant in the trenches of Sinedra Forest. Deployment Order OMSIF Epsilon 11, January 15th, 1993. Epsilon Commander Aribev, subject multiple suspected SSE. Sinedra region, Southern Umbrakan. Objective, Standard Protocol Alpha, locate and contain reported anomalies, investigate origin and evolution of sites, collect and catalog relevant materials. And the key to the APC. And another little thing to read, OMSIF Special Requisition 02. Special Requisition OMSIF Epsilon 11, January 21, 1993. Epsilon Commander Aribev. Subject Special Requisition Order Follow-up. Details: Secure Storage Access Code ... 301. I guess not ... it's blank blank blank, I guess. Team lead authorization only. For use in extreme circumstances in which team mission success is jeopardized. So far, don't really know what that is about. But we now know that the captain sadly is dead. But we have the key. Well, the soldier who told us the sergeant has the key, well, that is true, he had the key, but sadly he is not with us anymore. And the potential something we can find with a key that we only have half of. And actual trenches that they built out of this site. Also in that one thing they talked about, like, figure out where the origin of the sites is, which is interesting. This was referred to as a site, a heritage site by the Sabinian note. So I'm questioning if they want to figure out the origin, if they want to know like which culture in the past built them, or if that means something else. That's speculation right now. I don't know anything really. Letter, Sabinian Front. An unsent letter from a Sabinian soldier to his wife, found in a lockbox in the trenches of Sinedra Forest. My dearest Marina, we trampled through Sinedra Forest with the fury of King Astor. Pals never stood a chance, they died like dogs. I must have taken out at least a dozen, scrambling around like termites when the shells dropped. It was glorious. Also, Pals probably refers to the Palomists. We found 3 Pal brothers cowering in a farmhouse. Pissed their pants as we took them out back. One of them was wearing a gold watch. Can you believe my luck? Sending it to you with this letter. Sell it and buy yourself something nice. I swear I'll return to you, sweet Marina, once we've killed every last one of them. Love, your Ruslan. And a gold watch. Engraved on the back reads Otis. Which, if you actually can remember, I only showed it for a moment, but it is one of the names on the graves of the 3 kids from the farmer. So, yeah, good times, war. War is terrible, always, and in every direction. There is no happiness here. But it's even worse to like find something like this when people like go against their enemies and do whatever to them and then plunder their corpses even. To just go like, hey, I found something nice, I'm gonna like sell it, I'm gonna give it to you, sell it because it's like good. It has like actually quality and you can buy better things for it. Maybe this is could be a poor family and they need something. Like, they might actually need the money, but it's like acquired in this kind of way that just... Ugh. Again, there is no happiness here. New usable item. A basic meal. Small. Instantly recover stamina and reduce stamina cost temporarily. Basic meal consisted of dried and preserved goods, distributed to civilians through ON humanitarian efforts. And more first aid kits, which I haven't used yet. And now we're back in the forest. And finally, we've seen what we saw in that cutscene with that soldier that died before us, and the enemies have a second part to them. You will often face 2 enemies linked together by an umbilical cord. This pair is known as a limbic entity and is made up of Hollow Walker, a light-skinned humanoid creature, the things we've already seen, and the Haze, a large monster of various shape. To defeat this pair, you must kill the Hollow Walker, the humanoid. However, the Hollow Walker cannot be damaged as long as the haze is still present. Reducing the haze health to 0 will cause it to retreat into the Hollow Walker, who will become enraged but vulnerable to your attacks. In this state, a Hollow Walker's limbic energy, represented by the white bar, cannot be reduced and will gradually replenish. If the limbic energy fully replenishes, it will return to a state of invulnerability and the haze will re-emerge. Which, honest opinion, for basic enemies is an interesting concept. I hope they do something really interesting with that, with like boss fights. But yeah, you can hit it. Well, not completely. We can't hurt it. But as you may have seen, you can... Okay, maybe I'll talk about it afterwards. Perfect. Every action you perform in combat has a stamina cost. If stamina reaches 0, you enter into the exhausted state. While exhausted, all actions will be performed much slower than usual, exposing you to more danger. But they're not impossible. Stamina will begin to regenerate automatically after a moment of performing no combat actions, clearing the exhausted state. Well, but yeah, even if things got dicey, we got our health back pretty okayish. And now it's also telling us limbic energy is gained by landing attacks on a hollow walker. Okay, what I actually wanted to talk about, but then got confused because I wanted to talk about it while focusing on the fight and that didn't go well. You can still hit the hollow walkers to gain limbic energy or the white particles you use for the healing pulse. So you can't damage them. They don't take damage. Their health does not get reduced, but every other effect that is triggered by your attack seems to still work. Now how much that will be actually for like later things, we have special things we can trigger by doing attacks, special abilities and other things, I don't know, we shall see. The other thing that I initially didn't do was of course use the drone. Partially because I forget it at first, but then also because I was like, no, I'm not doing that, to actually show it off as like what the drone could be used for, because you've seen how much of a struggle that was if you don't use the drone. So this distractibility at first is like, oh, it's only for like groups of enemies, but now like every enemy can be a group of enemies that you may want to, like, if you can't harm the hollow walker, like, then just distract them. Let them do their own thing. Now, this is actually a way back. This is where the APC is, if we look around the corner. So I'm going to investigate everything else first. Including, here's the ram head. And another report. A report analyzing the recent discovery of an ancient artifact found on the corpse of an OMSIF agent in Sinedra Forest. Artifact report OMSIF 11, January 25th, 1993. Subject Ram Head Medallion, place of discovery, Sinedra Forest, Zone 03. Preliminary analysis, estimated 9th century origin. 9th century, I can't read. Ramhead iconography matches twin depressions found near door DW013 of Site Lambda 02. Existence of magic medallion suspected. Further analysis required. Actions taken. Package icons for transport to facility ZC-01. And you didn't make it. Which, again, it's a soulslike. There is no happiness here. I say that a lot, but it just feels true. Our weapon leveled up. We can have more maximum limbic energy, and it does more damage now, which is interesting. It means using a weapon longer means it is more powerful, but also means if we find a cool weapon later, it might be weaker than it should be or could be, and I'm not sure how to feel about that. But also, I still haven't used a healing item, and even though I messed up that one fight partially on purpose, Like, my health is full. Now, could this just be because I play Souls-likes not for the first time, and I do have some idea of how this works? Sure. But again, I also feel like maybe the healing pulse is just kind of overpowered? Like, it feels really good. It feels really strong. To just have the ability anytime you want to just be like, nope, we're just hitting an enemy a little bit, and it will heal us. Sometimes I don't play well at all, and I just figure, it will work out, it will be fine. Even though it doesn't necessarily have any reason to do so. But I'm just like, it's gonna be okay. Who cares? But also, a group of just the Hollow Walkers is not that much of a threat. Like, they are not that bad. So far. I already understand that I will eat my words later. I will absolutely regret saying that, and now it is on video to make this even more clear. But right now it just doesn't feel like that problematic if you have it. Also, you can hit through walls apparently. Which is another absolute standard of Souls-likes. But yeah, I think you just saw what I mean though when I say that it's not that difficult. The healing pulse really is just kind of overpowered. And takes away a lot of the potential risk and stress. And the potential of, oh no, if I'm getting hit, I actually could potentially lose my maximum stamina and it will make me weaker in combat, but like, look at me. I'm not doing well. I have failed a lot of the combat actions. I don't get the parries even though I try. I fail to do the riposts because they're on a different button that I'm not used to doing. And other things. And it's still just kind of like, holy shit. Oh, you're already summoning it again. Okay. But there was another thing that's really good to see. It did not summon the thing with full health. The haste came back out with lowered health that looked like it was exactly the same like percentage of health than the actual Hollow Walker had. So potentially this means even if you screw up, it's like it's not like you're completely punished of like, oh no, I have to do the whole thing again. It's like you have to do part of the thing again. Look at that, that was too. just to show off again how powerful the charge attacks can be. Also another weapon level that was much quicker than the one before. Yeah, I know what's in that direction. I just tried to actually look up at it, but no. I'm partially wanting to go back first, but in that direction we can get a glimpse at the tower. I will do that, but first we're gonna go back to insert the ram head. And we're back. Now we actually have to put these in the right spot. Which, not that difficult right now, but it might be interesting for the future to know that this is a thing that we potentially need to worry about. Also, nice that they give us a cool riddle to solve, a door, and then instantly an enemy to reward us for our, well, problem solving or riddle solving. Journal, Queen's Decree. A worn excerpt transcribed from Queen Havor Revata's lengthy discourse on the construction of the Arca Spire, found in a sealed room in the underground ruins of Sinedra Forest. By decree of Queen Havor, for too long we have suffered those whose sinful hearts beget calamity after calamity upon us. Legible. Let this grand edifice stand as a testament to our righteousness, a shining beacon in the sea of immorality, a reminder to all that none escape his gaze. Here we purge heresy, here we purify the kingdom, here we reclaim our faith. Well, it's obviously probably refers to the great wonderful spire tower we have heard about so much, and the fact that they just sent people there to cleanse them of their sin and feed them to the serpent. And we learn a bit more about who are the people who built this. That's great. And we get something more. A glyph. Recoil. It also has a limbic sphere and a rank, which, again, right now doesn't really mean much. It tells us the use mechanic to tap, so I guess it's just activate by button press. Lock-on required? No. That single line is one of the most amazing things I've ever read in a game. Because there's so many times when I find something in a game, I'm like, oh, I want to test it, and then it's like, you have to lock on, otherwise this thing will not find the target. And this game is just like, yes, we're gonna put that in there to understand it immediately. You don't have to figure this out, the game just tells you. That's such a ridiculous quality of life thing that shouldn't be necessary, but it's like, if you've played enough different games, you know that there's just a lot of games where you have certain things that don't work how you want them to, and this is just nice. It also tells us the cost, how much limbic energy it needs, the teleport range, and stun duration. And of course, what does that really mean? Teleport, stun? The actual description. In a terrifying burst, you recoil backwards, leaving nearby limbic entities stunned with gripping fear. It's a dodge and stun where you were. Now how do we use it? That's a wonderful question. Amazing question. You see that in our weapon? Down there it says add glyphs. What we just picked up was a glyph. But the glyphs are locked. We have to upgrade the weapon to unlock the glyph slots, so we can't use it right now. But we can put 3 glyphs in a weapon, and that one gives us a potential defensive ability to teleport and stun enemies, It's like an enhanced extra dodge, I guess. And I just have to be honest, if you can put free abilities like that in there, or probably also some that power up your weapon, some that potentially could be passive and whatnot, that could be an interesting system to customize your weapon to what you want, what your playstyle is, what you really wish to do. And I am realizing that this is much more of a maze than I want to admit. Great! Now, onwards to the other side. The other side, the way that I have not gone even in the demo. Well, it's not true. I did go here, then saw these and was like, maybe, potentially not. But there in the distance, there it is. There's the tower. But yeah. Actually, they're not that much of an issue, because they're not, like, all just charging towards you. They take their time. They're really nice enemies. And then you can distract one of them, which also, like, makes them really just not do anything for a long time. But yeah, I did not go this way, so I'm very excited what this is. It's blind at this point, even though there's other stuff that I still did, but we'll get to that. Get to that. Time loop guardian was killed. What the frick does that mean? Oh, okay. I have questions. A time loop definitely tells me certain things about this. Oh, it's 2 with a haste. That's a thing. But yeah, that's the tower. That is definitely the tower. We can observe. Well, I kind of hoped that we would look closer at the enemies or something, but sure. Tower, new location. Doobie-doobie-doo. This is interesting now. That was the secrets. Oh, is it not something that we can actually, like, look up as a thing? Oh no, we can. I just was confused by tower. Location Sinatra Forest. Non-important information. I mean, we don't know anything about it, but I think this thing is very important. Ominous structure towering over a lush forest. That's... I mean, that seems accurate. Well then, let us dive! Or at least dive into whatever the frick this is. Oh, they both summon one thing. Oh. That was not the right summoned full health. I did dodge. Okay. Number one. Again, it's not that problematic to get hit and lose health. It doesn't feel that bad. At least so far. Number two, those were two Hollow Walkers that shared a haze. They were both connected to. That's interesting. So we have two invulnerable things. I expected like later bosses to maybe have something where it's like we have one Hollow Walker that maybe have multiple hazes, but not this way around. That's something. And we need a key. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's just the necklace. A weird thing that we need to insert something in. Could be anything. Could be a sword. Could be just another one of those keys we had at the start to open the door. And we have this wonderful woman statue. Is it a woman? Maybe not. But it seems to wear a crown, so I think this could be a statue to the queen we heard about. Maybe these will tell us. Behold, the towering ire of infidels, the Arca's spire, vast maw that swallows the loathsome Sabinian worms unto their rightful doom. I mean, at least they have the dramatic part down. The gilded gateway to the august passage of Her Majesty the Queen and her stately procession. Maybe I'm not wrong with that queen. But that doesn't help right now, because we don't have the key. Well, that seemed to be a dead end. Okay. I'm okay with that. We'll come back later. We'll check out under... Ooh, Glyph, Animosity, Rage. Another use mechanic to tap. Lock-on required. Costs 120 limbic energy is also a stun. Pure hatred manifests into a lasso that ensnares a targeted limbic entity, eventually pulling it back into melee range and stunning it in the process. Oh, that actually sounds useful. Something I've definitely noticed so far is once you defeat the haze, you kinda wanna like get close to the actual Hollow Walker, but a lot of the time, especially if you like use the drone or something, they are out of reach, they are far away. This way you can just be like, nope, come back over here. That sounds very useful. Right, yeah, I remember this. And I also remember we don't have anything for it. I mean, I remember it from the demo. It's just the ruins up here. There's nothing there. So right now we can just go back to the APC and get greeted by a Hollow Walker, which means our friend might be not there anymore. Goddamn it, I always forgetting to do that. Or that one. The second hit is what gets you. Okay, that parry felt weird. I held that far too early, in my opinion. But the game said, no, that was a parry. Yeah. He's dead. And it is now updated. The structure collapsed and crushed him to death. Yeah, and he's connected to the APC, because it's from his unit. That is a lot of these shards. And they're categorized in the different limbic spheres. No. I said something about wanting to check out the stuff that I didn't read in the demo, that I forgot to go back to. And there was definitely one thing here. Also expecting there to be an enemy, kind of, but nope, okay. 4 mouth. I mean, I didn't know what I expected. A location name is definitely something. If that ever gets mentioned again, we know where to look. All glory to our exalted queen. By her hand and the will of our Lord Zephyrus, the triumph of the Palomist cause is made manifest. Okay. That tells us the queen was, or at least the people believing in her, were Palomists. And the Zephyrus is the god, and the Sabinians are the one who have been led to the tower. Okay. Now we also return to the old man, because we have a watch of one of his dead children. I wish I would have looked up where you came from. Did you just spawn? Did you come from the ground? Did you jump down? I didn't pay attention. If you want to know why I want to know that, because it's a Souls-like. There's always an enemy waiting, lying in ambush, and just knowing what the method is could just help in the future to not be jump scared, not have something jump on me, but instead know that it does and be ready. Where's the door? God damn it. You okay? The cow doesn't care. The cow says, I don't give a damn. Everything is fine here. Let me eat in peace. So I shall. Now, we probably just have to
Startled me. I thought you were one of those soldiers. It's not a bad idea to dress up like one of them. Listen, I hope you find whatever you're looking for in Joa. You seem to have a purpose. Sadly, Hadia will suck it dry.
We can ask about some new info.
Antiar, the two-headed serpent, released his demons invoked by the sins and destructive passions of humankind.
But isn't the two-headed serpent also the thing you feed the sinners to? Did I misunderstand that?
And our Lord Setherus gouged out his eye, gifting his followers with protection. And so the eye of God gazed upon his believers, freeing them of sin and destructive passions. I believe they are the same as the demons described in the holy passages of the Kada. They appeared about 3 weeks ago. I've been praying in my cellar ever since.
So now we know why you are down here. Okay. But that also means these things are nothing new. They're very much have been around for a long time. I mean, these soldiers also seem to know about, like, potentially there being entities. But our main protagonist doesn't seem to know anything. Again, he attacked them with a gun at first. They don't do any, and that didn't do anything, so that's interesting if it's something that's potentially known. I mean, well, our friend here says that they could be, or he believes that they are the demons from those old scriptures, so he also isn't entirely sure. But the soldiers knew potentially what they were dealing with. That's interesting.
What do you know about the tower?
If I were you, I would avoid that place. I forbade my sons to even go near it. The tower is haunted and cursed. I know it sounds silly, but it happens to be true.
I would like to inquire more what that means, but I guess we'll figure that out once we find the key. So, here.
Thank you for bringing this watch back to me. It belonged to Otis, my eldest. My father gave it to me, and I gave it to Otis. I'll give it to Atticus if he ever comes home.
Good deed accomplished. Well, I'm not so sure how good this storyline ends. I have a sneaking suspicion we will find Atticus at some point, and probably not alive. Or maybe we will. Maybe we will. I don't know. I'm just quickly gonna go back to the start before I forget. Yeah. Gustav, Otis, and Arlo. Again, he said that there was one of the soldiers who smiled at him who looked very much like Arlo, so I don't know. Potentially that means something. Right now, that's just conjecture on my part, without any actual proof. In solemn tribute to our noble queen and the mightiest of her works, which yet endures, unyielding and tall above the trees, in the year of 969. But yeah, these are formed like one of the symbols that we used at the start to open the door. Interesting. Oh. Was this here before? Well, I'm guessing I can't open it. Yeah, I don't have any kind of code. Another thing for later. But again, was that here before? I just thought there was something to read, that's why I came back here. Yeah, this one. In memory of Balvier Kefka, the 429th proto-martyr. Proto, a lot of the time means like, well, in the same sense of like a prototype, it's like a predecessor, it's like the like not necessarily the real full thing, but it's like a step before that. That's an interesting thing to put to the word martyr. Well, finally back to the APC. And we're now actually going to get in. Things we can look at. A code that is 6 digits. We have a code, but we only have the last 3 digits, so we have to figure out where the other 3 are. And then we also, of course, have navigation. Because this is where we are. It tells us specific zones, the cattle family farm and the tower. And what we want to go to is the village of Jova, which is in Arkesa Marshes. Which is the only thing that we can travel to anyway, so let's do it.
Epsilon 11. Epsilon 11, sound off. Why are you in Akasa Marshes? Who ordered you? Where are my men?
They're gone. The creatures got the better of them.
Abandon the vehicle and walk away. You have my word, no harm will come to you.
How about I give it back when I no longer need it?
I would advise against it.
It's just too convenient.
You have no idea who you've stolen from. Choose your next move wisely.
Well, this is kind of where the demo ended, so everything from now on is absolutely blind. Blind as a bat. But it's also interesting to see that there is other military in the region. They know we have the APC and they're not happy about it, and our still kind of unnamed protagonist is just like, nah, too convenient, I don't want to walk, I'll take this thing, even if you probably will hunt me down or whatever. I mean, he was a soldier, so I guess he knows how they operate, which is I guess why he isn't like super scared. He has at least like a basic idea what he has to expect. But it also brings up the question is like, is that worth it? Like, you're going after your mother and your father that you don't know. He's literally, in our data log, it says he doesn't remember them. And he's like, yes, I'm going to challenge the military on this because I stole a vehicle from them. Because that is just convenient. Like, who are you? And why are you so, like, okay with taking this risk? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but, like, definitely something. Box of bronze acorns. An ammunition crate holding hundreds of small bronze acorns. Yeah. And that is, for some reason, an item we can pick up. And now we see the next wonderful, great part of this. Yay. Not all characters will engage in full conversations, but may still say something of interest. To be honest, I don't think I would say anything either at this point, other than potentially, like, cursing everything.
Why? Why? Why is this happening? Camille! Oh, my baby. Anna, my baby girl. We got separated during the evacuation in Tulsi. The screaming, panic, the smoke, pure chaos. I lost them in the crowd. I finally traced them back to Jova, but I'm too late. I'm too late. Oh, Camille, forgive me. I'm too late. Without one of their belongings, I can't even give them a proper Palamist burial.
Yeah. This seems like they just dug a hole and threw as many people in as possible. There's too many people dead in war, and like proper burials are just... You can do proper burials if you have like a handful of people, but if it's hundreds, it's just ridiculous. For like, if there's war, the higher ups just don't have time for all the grieving people. And let's just be honest, that is harsh and just kind of fricked, but it is also kind of understandable as a necessity. But like, if you're like him, grieving about someone, Yeah, this is probably like one of the worst things you could ever see. This is like world shattering. Oh, I said it too many times already, but like there is no happiness here. That should now very much be clear. Village of Jova. Also Patium Abbey? Sabinian territory and more wind chimes. That's nice. We got military chopper, so that's great. We got electricity, landlines. What did that say? Travel to APC. Okay. So if we want to return, we don't have to walk all the way back. That's nice. And then we... Okay, that our protagonist's head there. Why is that moving? I don't... I was like, oh, and then we have a big open area that looks like a battlefield, but no, I don't care about that. What is that? This is where the demo ends, and I'm pretty sure I did not... Well, it might have still been there, I just didn't recognize it, but right now it just instantly was the first thing I saw, and I'm like, yeah. I'm not sure I want to go there. But yeah, as I said, from here on out, it's completely blind. And that means I'm gonna explore absolutely every nook and cranny I can find. This is gonna be slow, meticulous, and long. A hastily written note left by a priest fleeing Pathum. Ah, it's not a double E, it's an H in there. It didn't look like that on the other sign. Fleeing Pathum Abbey. Found in a rowboat in Akasa marshes. The military woman who does probably want to kill us now pronounced it that way. I did pronounce it differently, but now I will take this pronunciation because it's what the game delivered. I had to flee the abbey, no telling what those Sabinian savages will do to us if they manage to get inside. No respect for the sacred. Zephyrus cursed them all. If any of my fellow brothers find this, I will be heading to the place we toured last summer. Find me. May his gaze lie upon us and deliver us from this evil. Brother Milos. Okay, Abbey, not a safe place. Probably. This is where I'm gonna cut it off for part 1. Hope you enjoyed, have a nice day, and until next time.